let's just try to go with this. It'll be a flux charged lightning bolt. Let's see if I can craft it, and it looks like I can. Ooh, look at all the magic. Now, let's try the fire spell. Actually, I want to try this one more time. Oh! Well, come on down. Okay. So I successfully zapped it with the flux.
This world is full of magic. Wondrous creatures, dragons, and wizards all share it together. The Guild of Nova Nimbus rises at the center of it all, but its arcane power fractured with the disappearance of Ankh-Saral. With more questions than answers, the tides of magic have begun to shift, changing the world as we know it. Welcome to Fairy Tale Origins.
Don't you eat that pig. Mara, don't you... Did you just scare off that pig? Come on, we're trying to make this a safe environment by the guild. But I suppose... Welcome to the light gods, welcome to the pigs, and welcome to these 4 lucky blocks they've given us. The light gods, that is, not the pigs. Although pigs, if you have any lucky blocks, feel free to just drop them. You know, it would be convenient. We're going to crack these open later, but of course, thank you for all the likes you've given, and we'll see if we can get even more for the next adventure. But, Armara, we got some goals today. We need to get some powerful magic in tow. Now, we're going to be doing this in the guild because I figure, well, I might as well spend a little more time at the guild, make sure it's safe, make sure any evil presences here are dealt with. So we're going to be mastering our Infinity Gauntlet here. Yes, I did decide to call this the Infinity Gauntlet because its power is like infinity. Makes sense, right? I'm sure it's not connected to any other possibility, you know, of thing you might have heard of. But as you can see here, it's missing something. We may have the 6 gems in it, but it's missing a lens. There's a big old gap right in the hand right there. So, I've went ahead and did a little more alchemy so I could create this lens. The blank lesser focus. I suppose it's called a focus. And with this, hopefully, the end goal of today is being able to cast lightning from this gauntlet. A medium bolt, or a focus medium bolt. So, hopefully, if we go into Auramancy here, we can complete this process and see what we can do. Now, of course, to make the lesser focus, we needed to do a little bit of this, but it wasn't that bad. I think I've actually finally dealt with the flux problem in my area. But speaking of that flux problem, I think we have to make sure none comes around here. Now, I don't plan on doing any alchemy in the guild hall. That would be, well, not smart. But however, just so we can keep flux out of here, we're gonna grab a couple of those saplings and see if we can stop it from ever coming back. So let's grab, let's call it 2 of the silverwood saplings and some bone meal. This should be able to grow some of these trees right in the middle of the guild hall where there used to be just a kind of dead, crippled trees from the whole, you know, evil attack. So if this grows right here, hey, that doesn't look too bad. Actually, that sized up really well comparing it to how it could have been. And I like the colors. It's actually Nova Nimbus colors. So that works out, and I believe there's another little patch of grass where a tree used to be over here. It's not going to be exactly lined up, but I suppose we'll put it a little bit away from the old Guildmaster's hut. And, okay, those holes are kind of just annoying me with how they are. But yeah, this grows pretty nicely here, and it'll keep the flux problem at bay. I suppose I don't exactly have anything better to plug that with. So we'll see if maybe the Earthbender can deal with that a little bit, because I can't exactly bend Earth to look like that, or, you know, place it to look like that at all. So, let's get into the book. We are going to see what it takes to learn some basic auramancy. Now, I have already made this lesser focus, so we'll complete that and see what's next. Using alchemy to create the focus was indeed the path to success. The focus is stable and clear. Now I simply need to imprint the proper patterns onto it. For this, I need a focal manipulator. I've already drawn up plans for the focal manipulator. The way it functions are similar to an arcane workbench in many ways, but instead of using this to craft items, it instead imprints patterns onto the focus crystal. It must also design the patterns that I will need to imprint. I have an idea for a pattern to create flame, but I'll need to do some more research. Can I just skip to lightning? That would be cool. But here's how we make the focal manipulator. So we need a resonator, a stone table, iron plates, and arcane stone. Interesting. So let's grab the couple of things we need. Iron plates. I have those made. I believe I also saved the resonator. Yes, so I don't have to make additional resonators. And arcane stone. How am I going to make that? That's not too bad. I just need any vis crystal and regular stone to make arcane stone. I'm assuming I can just make the slabs like that. Very nice. I wonder how this stuff looks for an actual building project. But before we do all that, let's set all this stuff up in hopefully the correct order, and the plates here. There we go. We have the focal manipulator. I used up almost all of the available viz to make this happen, but we have it. So let's place this right down here. And our little bit of a thaumaturgy lab is starting to come together. Isn't that right, Armara? Alright, just since you kind of like blend into the environment here, I'm going to put you back in a horn just so, you know, you don't camouflage too much, because you're the color of stone. Makes sense, your armor. So, let's go over to here and read our book. Now that we've completed that step, we should be able to advance further, but we need to make a normal projectile. So, how do we use this focal manipulator? Well, let's stare into it and see what happens. Okay, this is a strange and unique inventory. But we need to start crafting. So, well, what can I do here? I have the lesser focus, which oh, there it is. So I just need total complexity, start crafting. What do I want to put in this? Let's, look. Ooh, elemental effects are right here, so maybe we could do something with that. Oh no, we haven't done the full research for that yet, and I need to complete a normal projectile first. So, how do I do that? I need a pattern to create flame. Well, how would I make flame? I suppose blaze rods, blaze powder. Seems to be most of the standard stuff. But we have all of these things created. Now we just need to make the pattern work. So the answer wasn't blaze rods, and it wasn't even the ignis vis crystals. But what if it's literally just fire? Suppose I need to light this somewhere it'll actually catch. How about on the crafting bench? Ooh, not quite. Do I actually need to go outside just to catch some fire? Yeah, I guess so. So if I stare at the fire with the thermometer, nothing new can be learned. But, well, that didn't quite work as well as intended. But I suppose I can scan all this stuff with the thermometer and hopefully get a few more bits of knowledge. Looks like I just gotta scan through everything in my inventory, and that'll at least get all of the, well, it'll give me a little bit more knowledge, and hopefully through that, I'll be able to get things going. Ooh, the alchemical bag is only one specific kind of thing. Now when it comes to alchemy, I think those things with just the one are very useful, because then you can control what you're throwing into the crucible. Ooh, same with the staff here. It's only the little leaf things. Just gotta scan the transmutation table. Ooh, lots of little bits of knowledge from that. If only I could hold this up to like literally everything in the transmutation table. I suppose one possible practice would be to get everything out of the transmutation table and then just start scanning. But oh, so whatever I did, it's enough to complete this process, so that's one more thing. I have everything I need. All I need to do is craft my first focus. By arranging specially prepared vis crystals around the blank focus, I can set up patterns that will determine what kind of function the focus will perform. For now, I only know the root, touch, and fire patterns. The root node represents me, the caster. In the focal manipulator interface, it's shown as an eye icon. The empty node below is marked with both a target and a trajectory icon. Mediums like touch require trajectories to determine what they affect. The root node provides a trajectory that matches where the caster is looking, so by linking touch to it, I'll be able to touch anything that I'm looking at. Mediums almost always provide a target, in this case whatever has been touched, and in this case I can do a trajectory that will require a target, so I'll be able to link the fire effect. By linking the root, touch, and fire, I can create fire wherever I touch. Seems simple enough. What's the goal here? I suppose I've already learned the basic oromancy, so I can go into all these things. Well, although it would be fun to find a use for all this accidental flux I'm doing, and breaking would be pretty powerful, I kinda really want to get the bolt. So let's learn the fire. Touching my foe to set them afire is alright and all, but I'd much rather hurl magic at them from afar. Let's do that. So, I can now place the energy of the focus into a magical projectile that I can hurl at enemies or blocks. The projectile is slow, but I can increase its speed by increasing the complexity. Further research might allow me to refine these projectiles even further. Studying other kinds of projectiles closely should inspire me. Okay, so it just wants me to look at stuff, so... this seems to be helpful. Sticky, fiery, arrow. I think I have a few of those things. So let's try slime. That seems to be one of the things I might want. So let's grab one of them. Let's grab... I mean, I don't think a snowball would be in this. It didn't seem to be there, but let's grab it just in case. There's that. And then how do you make a charge? A fire charge. What is that? Gunpowder and blaze powder? I really don't know. But let's grab some blaze stuff and see if we can make any of that. So, first of all, we can just hold this over this. Scan the sticky. Good. Scan the arrow. Scan the snowball, in case that's something. Ooh, snowball is also one of those things with just one component. So that seems pretty useful. And how do we make a fire charge? I am going to guess so hard. Oh, would you look at that? I nailed it first time without even having to look up the recipe. Fantastic. So let's make ourselves some fire charges, and then we should just have to scan it. And, oh, that is a bunch of stuff. That should give us all of the research we need, so we can just throw this other stuff away, as well as the arrow and slime ball, and probably the blaze as well, because now we should have all of that researched, I'm imagining. Fiery projectile, research arrow. It seems to make sense. What happens if I go in here? Well, ooh, I can select the different things. So let's try projectile, so we can throw something further, and let's just type something random in here, like ads. And now, ooh, it's definitely changing the things here, and it requires a modus vis crystal. I wonder if the specific kind of vis crystal matters. But let's try fire, and burn duration, I don't know, but let's try adding a little bit of power. So that just makes it a larger vis per cast. So, that's cool. We need an ignis and a modus crystal. Now, does this stay in the thing if I just keep it like that? It indeed does. So let's go in our trusty crystal bag that we have recently made and grab those crystals. And there we have it. Our first infinity stone. Or focus gem thing. Close enough. So with this I should be able to cast a fireball. I'll just need to find a way to put it into the gauntlet. But I suppose we'll test that out later. I want to see what other kinds of gems we can make. So let's see what we can do. I think a little bit of elemental effects would be cool. Because this effect creates a blast of air. Doesn't cause much damage, but it'll knock back anything it hits. And for frost, it may not be destructive, but intense cold can be nearly as harmful, with the added benefit of chilling my enemies and slowing them down to a crawl. And the blast of earth and rock created by this effect packs a significant punch. It's even more powerful to create blocks made from weaker materials. Okay, so that elemental stuff is pretty cool. What about the flux? I seem to be researching through all this stuff pretty quickly, using the elements of the weapon if the raw magic can be just as destructive. I certainly have a lot of flux available, or I've learned a lot about flux, and now we can do breaking, healing, cursing. We can do a recharging pedestal so we can use the gauntlet more. A focus pouch. What's this even for? Once I've gathered a sizable collection of foci, it can be quite annoying to carry them all. Oh, okay, because you can probably only use one in the gauntlet at a time. So this special pouch should be able to hold them. Unlike the roots magic, which I need to hold all the separate pouches. Alright. So with this, it seems I need to research infusion to get the advanced foci. But let's try to make a bolt, because that seems to be really what I want to do here. Now I've already made this one, so we're going to need one of our other lenses. Whoa. We certainly have a lot of options here when we can make these spells. Now I wish I could make something better than a lesser focus, but I'm imagining I need to go further into alchemy to learn how to make a better focus, since this one was made through alchemy. And this is actually my last one, so hopefully that'll be fine. But let's try this out. We need bolt, so we can hurl magical projectile directly at our opponent. And what do we want to connect to this? I suppose fire would be kind of fitting for lightning, but what about flux? That could be interesting. It disrupts living and dead creatures. It has 4 attack damage. Oh, I guess this all tells us how much attack damage it does. Air is weak. The other things are simply the complexity of the spell. And frost can slow down our opponents. Perhaps we can have a chilling lightning bolt? I don't know. But let's just try fire for now, since we know how to make that one. Nah, we already have a fireball. Let's make it a lightning frost spell? Ew. I don't know. I think we're gonna go with the flux, mainly because I have so many Vidium crystals. I have like another stack of these ones. So, we'll go with that. So I guess I can only change the power here, and it changes the vis per cast, but that significantly changes the complexity. I suppose later I'll be able to increase the complexity of it, but for now, let's just try to go with this. It'll be a flux charged lightning bolt. Let's see if I can craft it, and it looks like I can. Ooh, look at all the magic swarming into this thing. So I suppose we're going to need to equip... Ooh, that thing seems to be done. Oh wow, that is a dark purple. But it's probably going to be pretty cool. I wonder where the meter for Vis is. Actually, that's probably what I see when I put on the gauntlet. So this, yeah, in that top left corner of my peripheral focal area. Yeah, totally not a screen or anything. So now how do I equip it to the gauntlet? I imagine putting the gems into the gauntlet shouldn't be too hard, but I still need to do something to make that happen. Looks like I have 150 Viz. Well, I guess now that we've made a couple of these gems for the Infinity Gauntlet, it's time to test them out. Who would like to be a test subject? Hello, pig. How are you doing? Okay, I won't kill the pig that's right there. However, I will see what's over here. Just some potential targets, because I know this ground isn't necessarily always good people. I suppose there's plenty of deer around. You're just vampire hunters. Come on, give me something. Ooh, this spawner should give me something evil to fight. So, I suppose I just need to charge up this gauntlet. And, okay. Well, that was pretty cool. Could have been cooler, but let's break one of these so it all comes falling down. Whee! Oh, it didn't. Okay. Fine, I'll head up there myself, but I am going to need to grab my staff so I can just pop right up here. And now, let's try the fire spell. Actually, I want to try this one more time. Oh! Well, come on down. Okay. So I successfully zapped it with the flux. Not too bad. Now it's more of a purple lightning that's coming out, so I don't know if that's exactly the type of spell we want, but it seems to be one quick bolt. Does a nice job. It's just not exactly lightning. The bolt is just magic. That's troubling. But let's see what the fireball can do. So I imagine if I just focus this into a different location, it'll switch out the gem for this one, and... Hey, that's pretty cool. It's a short-range fireball, but it can be a little bit long-range. It's pretty short-range. It just looks so tiny. It's like, oh, look how far away it's getting, and... Oh, it's 5 feet in front of me. But that's pretty cool. Let's see if we can try this on an enemy target. I suppose we're just going to have to get another spider to spawn. So over here... Oh, Spider-Man. Spider-Man. It would be nice if he didn't knock me off. So there we go. He should be on fire for 1 second. Yeah, and it looks like that was about right. We can even light the ground on fire with this. So, yeah. Okay, so the bolt is certainly easier to aim. But I suppose if I put multiple levels of projectile on this, it would be able to move a little faster. Probably get a whole lot more range. Let's see if I can catch it. Oh, well, that time it just landed in the water. But it seems the magic of Vis is so powerful it can go right through water. So, hey, there it goes. It hit me. And of course, it's a little harder to catch me on fire than most other creatures, but understandable. Let's see what's in that chest, just since I'm going here, because these usually have different kinds of little pets. We have a spider pet. Fitting. And let's switch this over to the bolt. I kind of like this spell. Now, we are going to need to try to find a way to make it stronger. But I like this gauntlet. And if we put all these different foci gems into the pouch, we shouldn't have to carry around a million different things to have like 10 different spells. Or it looks like on this I could have at least 7 spells fairly easily. So what are some of the other kinds of spells we're going to want with this gauntlet? Where exactly was the guild? Up. You can see a silhouette of it in the distance. That's pretty nice. Ooh, that waterfall is looking beautiful. The deer are swimming, having some good times. Just playing there. Might need to regrow some new trees here because these ones are still a little damaged ever since that. But the silverwood should be keeping any negative flux away. Now I'm wondering, does this foci use flux or Viz? or V, or whatever it's called, to channel its magic. It should describe it for me when I select a spell here, so let's check this out. It conjures raw, unfocused viz that disrupts the living and dead creatures. Energy cannot interact with inanimate objects, but that does mean it bypasses through mundane armor. Okay, so it's armor piercing, but it does use viz. That's good. I wouldn't want to, it would be a way to get rid of flux, but at the same time, I don't like the idea of flux. So we're probably going to want to make a frost spell and an earth spell, probably just for breaking earth bits up, because that can always be useful, especially with the combustion bending being a little dangerous. Probably an earth touch spell would be pretty cool. That'll really show Michael. But over here, we can look at some of the other potential things. I could curse my opponent with one of these spells. I could heal, which I'm probably going to want a touch heal of some kind, or a self-heal if that's a possibility. Breaking was said. Exchange could be a nice little teleporting thing. I don't know what plan is going to be as a medium, but an arcane mine would be fun. Setting up a little frost mine, so if someone walks through it, they take damage and get really slow. But there's more fire we can learn? Ooh. So it seems, well, it doesn't tell me what I need to continue here. It says I'm at stage 2 of 3. But the bolt's completed. We can now make a focus pouch, and I suppose a recharge pedestal would be useful. I expect that I'll soon begin crafting objects that require Viz to function, but that cannot easily draw Viz from the aura themselves. I'll need to wait to recharge them. Well, I suppose we'll need to make this pedestal to make that happen. And over here we can make an amulet, which I assume can maybe give me a little bit more Viz to channel. And this workbench charger begins to run into annoying limitation with the arcane workbench. It is only able to draw Viz from the immediate surroundings. Okay, so this will let me grab it from a much wider surrounding. I'll have to get on making some of this. There we go. This seems pretty easy to craft. Unfortunately, it's using stuff that I have plenty of, so we now have a recharging pedestal. I guess I'll just make this kind of area my, thaumaturgy lab, but we'll see, because I don't know exactly what part I want to use. Where would I want to recharge things? Maybe inside here? As you can see, I put some just chests and basic things around here. But I guess we'll just put this, right in front of everything else. So, here? Sure. Now, what would I need to charge up with this? Probably not the gauntlet. The gauntlet just draws it in from around me. That's how it gains its power. But other things would have to be using that thing. But I suppose now that we have completed that, we can move on to the Viz amulet. No, I made a recharge pedestal. Why will this not advance me? I suppose we'll run into that in the future. Let's just look at the rest of the potential spells we can make, and then perhaps the light gods will suggest some new ones for me to make. Because I still need to make a lot of lenses, and that will require a lot of alchemy, which I'm terrified of. But we'll see. Let's see. The wand you've discovered is strange, unusable, but its workings bear some similarities to a thaumaturgical foci. You should be able to reverse engineer it and create a curse spell. Mortis. Ugh. That doesn't sound good. Probably not something I want to mess with. But over here we can create a healing spell. All we need to do is get another auramancy theory. So I suppose we just need to scan more stuff with the Thaumanomicon. And breaking things, also just need more theories. It seems like I need to spend the theories to unlock this kind of stuff. But I have most of the little things to find all of that. It just takes a theory to unlock whatever else I want to do. Which is probably why I can't exactly advance into the workbench yet, because I just need another spare theory. So we will need to find a way to scan more of that stuff and continue down that line if we want to make any of these spells. But of the spells that we could potentially make, let's see if there's anything that looks entirely interesting. We don't have the lens right now, but we could perhaps make a bolt spell. I guess a touch spell would be next that we want to do. What would be the coolest way to do a touch spell? I suppose when I do an earth spell, I'm going to want it to be something that'll break blocks as well. So maybe not that, and I suppose if I used frost or air, I want to control where my opponent is, so we'd probably want to do that at a range. But maybe just something like the, I honestly don't see a lot of touch spells I'd be using right now. But if we use bolt, and we could use bolt air, and that could keep enemies knocked away. We could use that with the frost, and it could keep enemies slowed. I think a frost bolt might be nice, but of course I don't have the actual thing to craft that. I could, however, add duration and power to it, and since it doesn't have the crystal in there, or the thing, it doesn't show me the complexity. I suppose if I can craft better than a lesser focus, then I should be able to get higher complexity. I know there's advanced focuses in the book, such as right here, but I need to delve into the magic of infusion. So we'll see what I can do when it comes to that. Looks like this wants me to make a bunch of silly outfits, but it doesn't seem super difficult for me to get into, and I'm not opposed to doing infusion magic, so maybe this will be the next step. But hopefully, with the Infinity Gauntlet, we should be able to get some more offensive magic, because with Armara and with all of the astral sorcery, we have some of the finest defenses in the game. But with the Infinity Gauntlet, we should be able to fight back any evil threat with little purple lightning. And it seems like I can do us plenty. Doesn't seem to be slowing down at all. So hopefully we can do something like this that'll, you know, really pack a punch. Anyway, I suppose it's time for Lucky Blocks. Thanks to the light gods, we have these 4 lucky blocks to crack open, and perhaps some enemies to test out the Infinity Gauntlet on. Of course, over 800 likes went into this, so hopefully, well, that's not Infinity Gauntlet saving me, but we should be able to pop ourselves out of here with just enough of the, wait, no, I know the way to do this. You gotta go right through the web, into the lava, and now I can get myself out of this. Almost, and there we go. No big problem there. Just a little bit of fire. It's okay. I got fire too. See? Pew! I must say that fireball does look pretty cool. Oh, I accidentally hit myself. Let's get some fried chicken. Oh, it didn't cook the chicken. That's disappointing. Next block. Ooh. Well, I guess it's one big surprise of a block for the 4th one. Oh, dear. Not the horse. Oh, not more fire. Let's, get out of here. And then, okay, so that's good. That's good. Everything's going fantastically. Exactly as I planned. And we're in more webs. You know, maybe this is a time where I should put on that Fornax mantle and just regenerate instead of getting hurt here, because the fire's... Really? The fire's getting a little bit annoying. Even just the sound of it. Fortunately, we have some water over here. You guys just keep doing your thing. I'm gonna switch the gauntlet over to the nice little Flux Blast. And let's see what we can get. Not the horse. Oh, that dealt with that. I win!